Thank you, everyone, for joining today's webinar. My name is Ajaz. I'm part of the OurVoice team. I hope all of you are doing well wherever you are. Please stay safe, stay home. And as you all know, the world has come to a standstill due to the coronavirus. पूरी तरह से हर जगह लॉकडाउन चल रहा है. And lockdowns can be stressful. They can create anxieties. They can create fears. Right? We all are passing through it. So this is what was the objective of today's session. That we felt that why not have some expert come and tell us how do we deal with these situations. Right? It looks like that we're gonna be in this situation for quite some time. So, which is why today we have Dr. Sadeq Qureshi with us today. Thank you, Dr. Sadeq Qureshi. He's a neuropsychiatrist. He's an expert on mental health. He's been in the industry for about 10 years. Besides that, he's actively working with several NGOs on mental health awareness, right? So it's a privilege to have you, Doctor, with us today. So here is how we're going to do this session. We're going to allow Dr. Sadeq about like 20-30 minutes where he will take us through the topic. And then we would want to hear from you if you have any questions. So you can drop your questions here on the Q&A section or on the comment section. And then Dr. Sadeq will answer those questions for us. So thank you again for everyone joining. And with this, I would like to pass it on to Dr. Sadeq to proceed.
Good evening, everyone. It's around 7 o'clock in evening and in India. Hope everyone is safe. Myself, Dr. Sadeq Qureshi, I'm a consultant neuropsychiatrist at Aurangabad. And I'm very thankful to the team of OurVoice for giving me the opportunity to speak about a very important topic about the mental instabilities as far as coronavirus is concerned. So the topic which is given to me today is how to be mentally stable in the time of crisis of coronavirus. So if you break the topic, there are three important or key words in the topic. First is mentally stable, second is crisis, and the third part is the coronavirus. See, as far as coronavirus is concerned, all are not going to be affected by coronavirus. Coronavirus infection is around 10-12% all over the world at present. Okay, but mentally it is going to affect each and everyone. That is for sure. Maybe a child, maybe a teenager, maybe a working man, or maybe a housewife, maybe an industrialist, maybe a laborer, whatever. But each and everyone will have some effect as far as the psychology is concerned or the mental state of a person is concerned. So in the first, I'll cover the areas which I talked about. The first is the emotions, second word is the crisis, and third is the coronavirus. So as far as emotions are concerned, see, my basic idea is to inform you, acknowledge you, give the knowledge about emotions and what is crisis and how the emotions and crisis are linked together and how to maintain the positive emotions at the time of crisis. So I start with my first topic, that is emotions. What are emotions? Emotions are nothing but they are the bodily states. They are the bodily states which is induced by the brain, depending upon our feelings, our behaviors and our thoughts. अपने जो thoughts है, अपने जो ख्यालात है, अपनी जो feelings है और अपने behavior है, इनकी वजह से अपने body के अंदर जो changes होते हैं, उसको emotions बोलते हैं. So now, what are the different types of emotions? So there are almost basic 6 to 8 types of emotions. For example, happiness is an emotion, counter to sadness is an emotion, anger is an emotion, rage is an emotion, disgust is an emotion, fear is an emotion. These are the basic emotions that we experience in day-to-day life. How these emotions are generated in our brain? So the seat of generation of all the emotions is the brain. So when we talk about where these emotions are generated, कहाँ से ये पैदा होते हैं? So we have to go back to the evolution and understand what is the difference between the brain of a human being and brain of an animal. Okay. So the seat or the area which controls the emotion as far as the animals are concerned, it is the amygdala. It is the area which is called as amygdala. Okay. And as far as the humans are concerned, the basic emotions they are generated in the frontal lobe. The frontal lobe means the area in front of the brain. This area, it is called as the frontal lobe. Now you take an example. Okay, there is a goat. The goat is standing in the forest, and a lion has come. Okay, now there will be changes in the body of the goat. It will sense that there is a danger. Okay, there is a danger to his life, to its life. Now, this danger, which is perceived by the goat, will activate certain systems in our body. So, either the goat has three options. Either it can fight the tiger, it can run away from the tiger, or it can freeze at its place. There's only three options. The system which activates these three responses of either fighting, running away, or freezing, which we call as fight, flight, and freeze response. These are for the animals, and God has given these three responses to these animals for survival. It is for their survival. Certain animals fight and survive. Certain animals run away and survive, and certain animals freeze on that position and they survive. But whenever a crisis is there in the humans, what the human brain does, it goes into that animal mode. मेरे सामने एक शेर खड़ा है, या तो मैं भाग जाऊं, या तो मैं उससे लड़ूं, या अपने आप को फ्रीज कर दूं. There, where how we respond to a crisis, that we should not do, because God has given us the frontal lobe, which is more of a planning, programming, responding, thinking. Okay, crisis is there, and we have to respond to this crisis. And during this while responding to this crisis, we have to be very logical, understanding what are the options available, weighing each and every option. What are the options available? Which option will have pros, which option will have its negatives, positives, and then respond. But what our mind does, whenever it is exposed to any form of crisis, maybe a real crisis or a potential crisis, it will go back to the animal mode. And whenever we go to the animal mode, we go into stress. In the animal mode, what happens? There is activation of the sympathetic system. Sympathetic system, there are two systems in the body. One is the parasympathetic system and the sympathetic system. So whenever we go into the sympathetic system, all the systems get activated. Like there will be increase in the heart rate, when there will be increase in the pulse rate, there will be increase in the there will be tremors, there will be palpitations, there will be restlessness, there will be a lot of anxiety. Because what we feel is this, we have to, it is either question of life or death. For example, I'll give you an example. Now, when the news of Corona came, certain people responded by a reaction, what we call as the terribilization. Oh my God, what has happened? Terribilization. They have just created a lot of shouting and lot of poor hoping and not responding properly, shouting, running about here and there. This is called as the terribilization. भयंकरीकरण, बहुत बड़ा कुछ तो भी एक ऐसा भूत आ गया है जिससे अपने को डरना है. The other way around, people responded like trivialization. अरे ये तो कोई चीज नहीं है, ये तो एक 10 साल पहले भी सार्स जैसा वायरस आया था, तो इसको अपने को टेंशन लेना नहीं है, इसके बारे में कुछ अपने को सोचना नहीं है. So both these responses to a crisis are wrong. The terribilization response is also very wrong, and the trivialization response is also very wrong. Now, if we come to the next point, whenever we face a crisis, there are three ways of responding to a crisis. First, face what we call as the possibility. What is the possibility? Second is the probability and certainty. For example, I will possibly fail in the exam. Whenever we think about possibility, we think about the chances. What are the chances? What are the ways I can fail? What are the ways in which I can come out? And we think about that whenever we are facing possibility, whenever there is in the mind possibility, and anxiety levels are very, very less. For example, a patient is there and he's feeling that he may get, there is a possibility of, I am also having a possibility of infecting the coronavirus. So whenever he think like that, okay, there is a possibility of getting the coronavirus. How it is a possibility? Whether he has come in contact with some person who is suffering from coronavirus, or he is not following the rules and regulations which are set up by the government, he's roaming out, then there is a possibility of coronavirus. So his anxiety levels will be very, very less. But another person is there. Now he has the thought of, probably I will get it. Probably I will get it. So around 50% there is some form of anxiety. I may get it. I have, everyone is getting it, so I will also get it. And the third person is certainty. कि बस अब तो सबको हो रहा है तो मुझे होना ही. So whenever such type of thoughts come in our mind, when we don't think about the possibility, probability, and directly go to certainty, this is going to happen. This will happen. This bad thing, bad virus is going to be affected. I am going to be affected. Then what will happen? Our emotional center will get activated. First, that which center will get activated? The amygdala center will get activated, which is the emotional center of anxiety, fear, panic. You must have heard the term which is used by the media: take caution, don't panic. Be cautious, don't panic. So whenever we are cautious, we are in a state of possibility. And whenever we are in a panic state, we are in a state of certainty. Ab to ye hona hi. I am doomed. The world is going to end. I am going to die. The family members are going to die, and everything will be negative. Here, where the anxiety increases to panic. Panic means the sympathetic systems get activated. The persons may feel restless. They will feel palpitation. They will feel butterflies in the stomach. They will feel that I will die. Sense of impending doom. What we say, the end to our life is very, very near. We are going to die in the immediate future. So, and then they are not able to decide for or against any decision. They are always in a crime state, and if this continues, what happens is patient may land up in severe anxiety, severe panic attacks, and severe depression. There is a rush of patients who have now come to us in the OPDs who were never having any anxiety in the past, but now, because of the habit of certain or taking it to certain 100% that will happen. They're coming that 100% if they have some cough also, they are coming that 100% I am having from coronavirus, I'm suffering from coronavirus. What is certainty? Did you meet any person who was suffering from coronavirus? No, sir. Whether you have in contact with any person who was in contact list of the patients of coronavirus? No, sir. But why? In the mind only they have decided and they have made it certain we are going to suffer from the coronavirus. So there are three. Our mind looks at the crisis either as a possibility, either as a probability, and either as a certainty. So we have to avoid that. We have to be in a state of always in a state of possibility. Okay, there are chances there is a coronavirus. There are chances that we may suffer from coronavirus, but if we take proper precautions and proper control as advised by the government, we follow the government advisories, there are possibility is very, very less. But if on the same time, if you tell that, oh, almost we are certain to have the coronavirus, you can imagine the difference of state of mind of two people. One is in a state of possibility and one is in a state of certainty. Next, coming to the state of possibilities. So whenever we are in a state of possibilities, we are in a state where we decide what are the factors which are under our control and which are the factors which are beyond our control. Okay, so see, we cannot control the virus outside, but at home we can control the virus, spread of the virus. We can control the social distancing, we can do the social distancing. We can follow the advisory which is given by the government, like hand hygiene, like keeping a mask all the time, not going out, minimum use of vehicles outside, minimum use exposure to outside, keeping our family members like who are already suffering from any other chronic illnesses like diabetes, hypertension, heart diseases, keeping these people in a isolated away from the person who is going repeatedly out. All these things are factors which are in our control. But there are certain factors which are beyond our control. We want that everything should be all right, everything should be people should lockdown should end, but that is not in our hands. What is in our hands is our own health. So whenever we are in a state of possibility, we have to have the whenever we are in a state of possibility, we have to have factors which are under our control, and don't worry about factors which are not in our control. कुछ चीजें अपने हाथ की बाहर की बात होती है, जैसा कि we want certain governments to respond in a certain way, but they are not responding. They are doing their best. Certain people certain people are not responding to the government orders, and they are roaming around. That is not even our hands. The economy is falling. Economy is falling. That is a major problem that is coming to our patient. Sir, abhi is we don't have the businesses, and businesses are falling down. See, at present, that is not in our hands. What is in our hand at present is our own health. Okay, so that is another point which I want to stress, is always in the life we have to have control over the factors which are in our control. But many of the time we waste our energies on the factors which are beyond our control, which we cannot control. Okay, so in the time of crisis of corona also, we have to have, or we have to be in the state of possibilities. Whenever we are in the state of possibilities, there are chances that we will do what the fact we'll do the initiatives which are in our hand, and leave the factors which are not in our hands. Over a period of time, the factors which were not in our hand, like the falling economy, may come back to us again, and at that time we can act on that. Understood? So this is basically the understanding of the fact, possibility, probability, and certainty. Okay, now I'll talk about something about the stress and the coronavirus. You all must be knowing that stress, there is a lot of emotional stress and emotional distress regarding corona. People are, lot of anxiety is there, lot of panic is there, lot of depression is there. But we need to understand, again we are playing in the hands of corona by taking a lot of stress. I'll tell you what the stress is doing. See, if you see the state of stress in our body, what happens? What happens is that there is a brain. In the brain, there are certain hormones. The hormones get released whenever we are in the stress. One of these hormones is the cortisol. Whenever we are under any form of stress, the cortisol levels in the brain increase to a tremendous level. Now, what is the role of cortisol in our body? The major drawback of cortisol is that it will decrease our immunity. And you all know, immunity is the prime important factor for keeping ourselves away from the problem. Okay, so any form of stress which you are developing in yourself, it is again decreasing your immunity and pushing ourselves towards the problem. Okay, so one of the important factors here is we have to de-stress ourselves. We have to bring back or normalize the levels of cortisol in the body, so that at certain point of time the body is in a state of fighting the problem. Okay, now we come to the how our state of mind can change our behavior and our emotions. So as you all know, everywhere there is a lockdown. So if we scribble over that lockdown is there, we are in a jail, we are in a curfew, my life has been ruined, whether that will help, whether that is a full stop? No, it is not a full stop. It is just a pause. It is just a pause, and life is going to restart after that pause. So what should we do in this pause? So we need to change the frame of reference of our perspective about this lockdown or about this curfews. I'll give you an example. One person is there, he's saying, lockdown is there, my life is ruined, I cannot go out, I cannot move, I'm in a jail. That is one perspective. That is a very negative perspective about the current situation. Another person is there, just see the change in his attitude or his perspective about the current condition. He's saying, okay, I'm in a lockdown, but I'm safe. I'm with my family. I'm enjoying it with my family. I'm getting the space, I'm getting the time, space around with my family. Okay. So just see the level of anxiety. See the level of anxiety in the two people. See the level of frustration. The first person is very, very frustrated. He doesn't understand what to do. He's getting up, following the same routine, which he in the lockdown, there is nothing. Cannot go out. He cannot do his routine work, and he's getting irritated. Another person, he knows, okay, lockdown is there, but mental setup is different. Mental setup is, okay, I'm in a lockdown. I'll give time to my family. I'll give time to my friends. Give time to the children. I'll be at home. I'm safe. So don't think that this is a curfew. Think this is a pause. And life is going to restart after this pause. This is not the full stop. Third thing. Second thing. Another, especially females. All the grocery stores are closed. All the malls are getting closed. We may not get the necessary things. Okay. This is one perspective. Another perspective of a person who is thinking from the frontal lobe. He's not getting emotionally blackmailed by the current situation, but he's saying, okay, I have enough resources, I have enough groceries in my house, let's use it cautiously. Let's prioritize what is needed as far as the eating is concerned or grocery is concerned. Recycle and reuse. Use minimum, waste minimum. Okay. So with these two examples, you can differentiate how the mind works. In the first person's mind is a lot of frustration, a lot of panic, a lot of anxiety. क्या होगा? अगर सामान नहीं मिला तो क्या होगा? सामान खत्म हो गया तो क्या होगा? उसी जगह पे दूसरा आदमी, ओके ठीक है, सामान है अपने पास, आज घर में है, जितना है उसको अच्छे से अच्छा, बेहतर से बेहतर अपन कैसे यूज कर सकते, उसको अपन किस तरह से रिसाइकल करके रीयूज कर सकते और वेस्टेज कितना कम कर सकते. ठीक है. थर्ड एग्जांपल आपको देता है. वन पेशेंट very worried. Hospitals are closing, grocery shops are closing, everyone is closing, and we cannot go out. What will happen if something bad is happened to my family member? If they have a heart attack, what will happen? Where should I? There is no transportation. Worry, excessive thought, certain that something will happen. Till now, nothing has happened, but in the mind, they are thinking that thing has happened. Certainty. Okay, possibility is there, but whenever the possibility is there, there are chances that we can, in the possibility, we can find solutions. But when the mind says, okay, certain, ये तो certainly होना ही, then there is no chance of any solution in that mindset. Another person is there, he's saying, okay, everything is closed, but government has kept the grocery shop open, the dispensaries are working, doctors are available, ambulances are available. If something happens, I have a support group. I have my neighbors, I have my friends. They will definitely help me out. Why to worry? Okay, if certain things happen, we'll see at that time. Again, possibility, probability, and certainty. So I have covered emotions. What are the emotions, where they are coming in the brain, and how to use these emotions. Another thing I want to tell, the difference between responding and reacting. This is very, very important. For example, there is a fight. Okay, there is a fight between two people, and if you see that One person is calmly, he's calm. He's fighting, but he's calm. He's talking to the other person, he's shouting. The other person is hitting, he's reacting. So whenever we are reacting, we are using our emotional brain. But whenever we are responding, we are using our frontal brain. For example, whenever we are using our frontal brain, we are using the functions of the frontal brain like planning, programming, and and thinking. What will be the consequences? If I hit him, what will be the consequences? Okay. But the other person is using his amygdala brain, the brain of the animals, where either you fight or you run away or you freeze. Activating of the sympathetic system. All these things are happening in there. So whenever we are in a crisis, instead of reacting, respond. Respond means what? You have to think, you have to take a step back, take 2 minutes, assess in your mind what are the options available, how far we can go, how far we can opt, what are the options available to us, and finally responding to that. Reaction is in a moment. So many of the time when we are in a stress, we react. We need to learn that the reactions will never fetch us good results. Whenever we want good results, we have to have respondent and use our frontal brains. Okay, so now emotions, what are the different types of emotions? How emotions are regulating our brain and how we need to respond. We have to use our frontal brain, not use our amygdaloid brain. Be in a state of possibilities and probabilities, never go to a certainty. I'll tell you example. Yesterday there was a case of coronavirus in our place. Okay. Now it is in the crowded area and certain people came to us, patients came to us कि सर वो area में हमें तो होना ही होना है, हमें तो होना ही होना है. We are going to suffer. I asked them, how do you know that you are suffering? You don't have symptoms. You don't have the contact with that person. You don't have the contact with their relatives also. They were in a state of panic and they were in a state of shock. We are going, now it has spread to our area and we are in a state of shock. Then, after explaining to them, bringing them to the world of possibilities, ask them, what are the chances? What are the chances that you will be affected by the coronavirus? Gave him the facts. How it is spreading. What are the possibility if you are in a contact with the person also? What are the chances? And then he calmed down. He was very much calmed down. I counseled him like, relax, don't worry. You are not, just spread to your area. That doesn't mean that you will be affected. Okay, so we have to be always in a state of possibilities. That doesn't go. We don't have to always in a state of certainties. 100% things don't go as we tell or as we think.